We're good.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to
Okay.
the Momentum Podcast, Cassie. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited to have you here with me.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So we're going to jump right in. Can you take us back to the beginning? What first sparked your interest in nutrition and supplements, and how did that evolve into launching your own supplement brand, Fussy Mom?
Okay, that's such a great question because my background, I started in diabetes clinical research, and that was during my undergrad. And that kind of really just sparked this really deep interest in wellness. So my mom, she had gestational diabetes when she was pregnant with all three of us, which later on in her early 40s, it just progressed into a type 2 diabetes. And she was on pharmaceuticals for years. And that really changed like how she lived her life, and it really impacted her lifestyle. But she started making that switch. She started sticking to a consistent exercise routine, and she started like cutting off carbs and just dialing in her nutrition. And that was kind of the moment for me where I kind of see the proof that lifestyle can really just reverse certain conditions with the right support. And then after graduation, I kind of fell into this supplement world through nutrition, through food science and formulation, just because I had that background in research. And then I just kind of like went from there. I've worked across so many different categories. Each one of them was just something new, something exciting. But the one thing that I started to see a lot of was that a lot of the brands were just ignoring women's health. And it was just really frustrating for me. And then about 7 years ago, when I started trying to get pregnant, it kind of became personal. Everyone has their own personal, struggles when it comes to trying to get pregnant. And for me, that was just finding the right supplements that just felt right for my body. I just felt like something was off. We were trying for about 8 months, and we were very close to actually going to see a specialist. And then we started seeing some results. And for me, when I looked back at my health, I actually randomly just started pulling up this old 23andMe report. Everybody did that one like back in the day. And I started looking more into like my history, my ancestry, as well as my DNA. And then that's when I found out I had this carrier, this MTHFR gene, which is a long name, but it's really just impacts how your body uses and utilizes all these vitamins and especially folate. And then kind of like suddenly just made sense for me because a lot of the prenatals that I was using trying to conceive, they weren't cutting it. They just didn't have that methylfolate form that your body can use. So I felt like I was already at a disadvantage, and then adding all these supplements on top of that that didn't have the right format was even, disabling me more. And then that's when I think the fussy mom idea kind of started taking place. That it's just an idea that I held really close to my heart for the last 5 years. I was creating something that I wanted to help other women. I wanted to create a smart, targeted supplements that meet the women where they're at and really just support their bodies.
Okay. Okay. So when you were able to find a supplement that would enable your body to process and metabolize and absorb the folate, was it folic
Yeah,
acid?
yeah.
When you were able to find that, did you shortly after get pregnant?
So I don't want to say that it was related to that, but it definitely felt like it supported my body a lot more. I was a little bit more. So before, when I was using the Costco size products, I mean, everybody had it, but I was definitely not feeling so good. Like I would wake up very like exhausted, even though I was getting full rested sleep. I was
Mhm.
breaking out. For some reason, I was breaking out so much, in which I hardly did ever. And then I just didn't feel like I was getting sick too. So a lot of the vitamins I would take in the morning because it's just like my routine. I was
Yeah.
getting like seriously sick. I would drive and I remember like pulling over and just throwing up because I was so nauseous. And I thought, okay, that's normal because it's your first trimester or whatever, right? Like, like
Yeah.
that's what I thought. And then when I looked into my DNA report, I started realizing, okay, maybe that's not normal. Maybe I need to like look further into it. And then when I found the right prenatal that had the methylfolate, it just made me feel so much better. Like I wasn't throwing up, I wasn't feeling nauseous. It just I had a lot more energy, which I was very surprised because usually people were like, "Oh, in your first trimester, or even your third trimester, you're just like completely
So
like
tired.
you're so tired."
That's what I remember. That was like
Yeah,
the one key symptom was just exhaustion. Except for that
yeah,
middle trimester, you like get your energy back a little bit. But yeah,
yeah. No, but it was not like I did not have that, and I was like, okay, it had to be something like that because I was on something completely like I used myself as a test subject. Like I was on, this regimen for the first, couple of weeks. And then I was just it got to the point where I was just like, I can't continue, like it got that bad. Like this has to not be normal. And then when I switched, that's when I started noticing it. So I don't think it was placebo effect or like in my head or anything like that, but I just felt like there's a clear like line between taking something and then taking something better and then I felt better. So to
yeah,
me that was convincing enough and that was proof enough for me. So that's pretty much yeah, like why I and because the whole DNA thing too, it really just affirmed what I thought like okay, maybe my body just isn't processing it.
yeah. Isn't that so funny? Like, I'm sure there are so many of us walking around with you just don't know
Yeah, and
what is going on in your body unless you're
it's so crazy because I looked up the stats. It was like 40 to 60% of people have this variant, one of the two variants,
wow.
and they don't even know. And most of the time, it doesn't really affect you until you're like, you're a woman and you're trying to get pregnant because folic acid is so important for baby's health.
Yeah.
But you don't really realize it until you're like
Trying
you
to
really take
conceive.
charge of it. Yeah.
Okay. So you've had such a rich background in the supplement industry from you said you did formulation, right? And then you
Hmm.
also did FDA audits.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So how is your experience working behind the scenes and that influence how you create and market your own products now?
Oh my gosh. So working behind the scenes kind of gave me insight on like the good stuff and the bad stuff and like the stuff that most consumers don't really see. One of the things that really shocked me was just how, how like early on, like how people don't know what they're putting into their bodies. It's really surprising. And I was one of those people too, because I didn't know any better. And that trust that you see on the shelf, like whatever you see on the store, like that trust in the company and the brand can really be easily taken advantage of. And I actually really hated being part of that whole system that kind of prioritized cost cutting over the quality or the transparency of the products that you're taking. So that experience, that frustration kind of like fuels everything I do with Fussy Mom. I'm more I'm more equipped to kind of read between the lines of what brands are claiming, what's really regulated, and what's just simply like marketing. Because I used to write those language. I
Okay.
know on the formula side where the corners were getting cut, and
Like,
how some of those so give you an example,
yeah,
I've been sitting in a lot of meetings. In my corporate world, I sat in a lot of meetings where we look at formulation and like the targeted cost. And sometimes the packaging, just the plain packaging, the labels, the boxes, like the fancy text and everything, that
yeah,
costs more than your actual
and the
formulation.
product.
Yeah, so just to give
Mhm.
you that idea, like it's all about perception, like the packaging, the premiumness of it, it's actually just stuff that you just toss into the trash. The stuff that you're actually ingesting, the stuff that you're taking are probably like a fraction of that cost, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And that's yeah, it's just I just want to really just rebuild that trust in that industry where just a lot of bad players like that.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, you
did we
cut out
get
for
cut
a minute.
off?
No, you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
sorry.
No, you're good. Um, sorry. So all right. I'm trying to think where you left off, and I'll edit that out. You're totally fine.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it was we were talking about all the just sitting in meeting
Well,
rooms and
right.
getting
And
like the
and the
yeah.
marketing and how they spend more money on the packaging than they do on the actual
Yes,
product.
yes. Isn't that's so crazy to me? Like, or even just the actual delivery system. Some of these, like yes, it looks fancy, it looks cool, but it really doesn't give you anything. And to me, what matters is the stuff that you're taking, versus like the pretty stuff that you're just gonna toss away.
Right. So are you saying like what we're taking? I mean, I've heard a ton of like just the vitamin gummies that are on the
Oh,
market that it's really just like candy,
sugar.
basically.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I made so many, like there were so many requests because oh my gosh. Okay, so skipping ahead, but I love and I hate gummies at the same time. So
Yeah.
I hate gummies because they are mostly full of sugar. Okay, you can't put certain actives in there. You can't fit all the vitamins that you need in these tiny little gummy format, because they're mostly made of gelatin or they're mostly made of sugar to keep that texture and to keep the format. Okay, so you're really not getting that efficacious dose. You're not getting the right active ingredients, like the right ingredients inside. And it's so super tiny. You need like 10 of those or something. And by the time you take like 10 of those gummies, you're like already so full of sugar.
Yeah.
But I love it because it's the format that a lot of people love. A lot of people can take it.
Right, like
A lot of
kids
kids
will
love
take
it.
it. And
Yeah.
also pregnant women who are nauseous. Like I know, I mean, I didn't really get the nausea too bad. I lucked out with all three of my pregnancies, but still definitely was easier to swallow a gummy
Yes.
over a big fat
Yeah.
pill.
Oh, but you know what? I was actually diagnosed with gestational diabetes for both pregnancies. So gummies were completely out of my, like, I could not take
Oh.
gummies. It was just not, like, it's just not something I could do, because
So
it would
what did
spike
you
up my
take?
sugar. So I
Yeah.
took pills, I took tablets, and I took capsules.
Okay. And what did you just make sure you
Yeah.
had food in your stomach when you took them?
Yes, yeah.
Not.
Because some certain ingredients in your tablets or capsules, it's better digested with food and it doesn't make you as
Right.
nauseous. And that's
Okay.
because it's the poor format. Just going back to the whole circle about bioavailability and the better format for you. Good vitamins won't make you, sick to your stomach.
Okay. Okay. So let's start talking about your products. So you have three core products you told me, right? The
Yes.
prenatal, the hair growth support, and then you
Yeah.
have one for mood and anxiety. So tell us what makes each of these unique and how are they designed to help?
Okay, so the prenatals, it's really for anyone that's just trying to get pregnant, who's currently pregnant, and also it's for postpartum. So I still take it. My kid is already two, but I still take the um the prenatals because it's a good multivitamin. And it's really special to me because it has all that bioavailable nutrients that we talked about that your body can use, and there's like no weird fillers in these capsules. The hair formula, it's actually something that it's a solution to something I experienced about 5 months postpartum with my second baby. I actually didn't have much shedding with my first, but for some reason with my second, I was dealing like clumps, like literally you just go like this and then like hair would fall off.
I
And it doesn't
remember
hurt.
that. Yes.
It's so weird. So and then to be honest, I was just too cheap to pay for Nutrafol because I was because I knew the ingredients didn't justify the price tag. So that was why I was like, okay, I can't justify it. It's just in my core that I can't fork up the amount of money to buy something like this when I can get it for a lot cheaper. And then the Calm Your Sass is actually basically just because I was going back to work and I was juggling like having two kids, doing work full time. I was constantly feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, overstimulated. Like my brain would just not shut off at night. And so I was looking for a product that could really help me calm and like just be happier and just sleep better. So yeah, so all these products were really designed because it was something I experienced myself and a solution that I was actively seeking out for myself.
Okay. And then the prenatal supplement that you have, and are there pills? Are they
Yes,
pills?
they're capsules. They're
They're-
just two capsules. And they're like this
Okay.
small. They're not even like giant horse pill.
Okay. Okay, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so then the prenatal vitamin. So are you able to, so the people who have your would you say it's a genetic condition that you have where you can't absorb the folate?
Mhm.
So with this prenatal gummy, like, so how is it formulated for people like you so that you are able to absorb the folate?
Yes, yes. And actually, even if you don't have the MTHFR gene, you can still take it because basically, like, why risk it, right? Like it serves its purpose for all women with or without that gene.
Okay. That is so interesting. So then
Yeah.
how does it work so that you are now able to absorb the folate? Was
It's a
it
methylated form, so it's a better bioavailable form. So your body doesn't have to break it down an extra step because your body doesn't have the enzyme to break that ingredient down in most
okay?
generic prenatals. So now that you have this form that's already broken down or it's already methylated, your body can just pick it up. No conversion. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now it's all
Yeah.
making sense to me.
Okay. Sometimes I think like I'm too analytical or too technical, and then when I talk to certain people, like I have to remember to, yeah, they don't know what I know,
Simplify
so it,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, more like
Oh, and
layman's terms for me, please.
yeah, and there's another thing too. I'm actually getting ready to launch like a really exciting product, and it's actually on my website right now. But I was testing this with the Fussy Mom Club, like the little group that I have that I send out samples and I talk to get their feedback. And I actually shared like samples of this liquid collagen that
Mm.
I know they're so excited about it. Like almost every mom I talk to, after I show them, okay, here's the three products I have. It's like what your core needs, and they're always asking me like, "Do you have anything for collagen?" And instead of fighting that, oh my gosh, you guys, like, okay, fine, I'll make a liquid collagen. I'll look into that because that's what you guys want. Like the feedback was just really incredible, and it's just kind of confirmed that okay, this is gonna be like a game changer product for everyone.
Yeah. So that's for your skin, for your nails, your hair,
Yes,
I'd
yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
Okay. And so it's a liquid form. So is this something you like,
yes.
put on your tongue or you can add it to your drink?
I take it, so it's only half a tablespoon. I just like take it in the morning. So that's all I do because I have no
Okay.
time. I don't have time
Yeah.
to like mix like and
Yeah.
drink like
Yeah.
8 ounces. No, I don't have that
Right.
time.
Does
But
it have
if
any
you want
flavor?
to, yes, it's a mint chocolate flavor. It tastes like
Oh,
Andy's
mint
chocolate. It
chocolate.
tastes like
Oh,
Andy's chocolate.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know I was telling you about it, so you can try it because it's so easy. Like my whole goal is basically you have to be able to take it. Like, what's the point of having vitamins if you just sit there on the shelf? You have to
Right.
like it, you have to be able to take it, you have to stay consistent. And so I've been doing this like for the last 2, 3 weeks now, with the collagen, and I've sent it to my friends for some like for them to try it too, and they love it and they're seeing results. So I'm just really excited.
So what are they seeing? Like their hair is thicker, it's
Their skin.
growing.
So the ingredient, one of the main for ingredients in there is a trademark clinically studied collagen tripeptide. So it's actually, so if you think about collagen, what you see in the market is you see regular collagen and then you see hydrolyzed collagen, which is like a better format of the collagen. So collagen strands, sorry, like now I'm just gonna nerd out. So collagen strands are like this long, right? Like let's say
Right.
it's like this long, and then you have hydrolyzed, which means they're cut. So now they're shorter strands. So now your
Okay.
body is able to absorb them because they're in smaller chunks. And then the collagen tripeptide that I have in my products is even smaller than those chunks. So now your body is for sure going to be able to absorb it. And there are clinical studies that show that it's 10 times more absorbable than your generic like hydrolyzed collagen. So it's your body's going to take it. You're not just like peeing it all out. And then
Yeah.
there's studies to show that like it helps with wrinkles. So like crow's feet right here. So as we age, they're like
What I
crow's
have,
feet.
you see mine?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I don't see it, but there's also like the
You're
deep
too nice.
lines here, the laugh lines for me. So I get so excited because like, okay, I guess I should be worried about these things as I get older. Because as moms, I'm like, I never look, at myself and be like, oh, I just worry about my kids first.
I
So
know,
this is
same.
so I'm so excited because all my friends were like, oh my God, I'm seeing like it's not as bad. Like the eye like underneath here is like it's better. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then of course their hair and skin and nails are all getting better too. So I'm super excited.
And are these quick questions? So are these all safe for women who are breastfeeding too to take?
Yes, yes, yes. Of
Awesome.
course, yes. Pregnancy, breastfeeding, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So there are so many supplements on the market. It's hard to know. It's overwhelming. And like it's hard to know like what brand to trust. So what should women really be looking for when choosing a supplement? And what are some common red flags that we should avoid?
So I'm gonna tell you what I tell all my friends, which is number one, always check the labels. It's so important. Like we read labels on almost everything, but when it comes to supplements, sometimes we just like, oh, it's too hard, like it's too sciencey. I can't
Yeah. Yes.
read it. Just read it, guys. Like just look at it. Know the methylated version. If it says methyl in front of the vitamin's name or like the nutrient's name, then you know it's the more bioavailable, more like absorbable form. So that's the good stuff. So get that. The other thing is look at the other ingredients section. This is like tiny little font that's like right after your supplements facts. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, but I get too excited. So read the other supplement or other ingredient section. Check for sugar, like obviously check for sugar content, check for dyes, artificial flavors, artificial colors. You'll see it, they'll list it there. So it has to say natural flavor or, something like that, because it'll show up. And if you're taking powder, capsules, tablets, look for the fillers. So the fillers are maltodextrin, carrageenan, or titanium dioxide. So those are the stuff that they use in the processing or the manufacturing process that they just fill up the little capsule or the tablets just to it really doesn't do anything. So you don't want those stuff. And then the last thing is always be wary about like prices. Like if it's cheap, there's a reason why it's so cheap.
Okay.
There's a reason why it's so expensive too. But for the
Right.
most part, like if you're seeing a $10 supplement, like just ask yourself why. Like do the math, like backtrack it. If somebody has to profit at least 50% margin on this product, right? Like from the retailer side, backtrack that. So this product's now 450 or sorry,
Mhm.
$5 for your $10 product. And as an ingredient or as a manufacturer, they have to make some money too to make these products. So let's say another 50%. So now this product is like 250 to make. Like
Yeah.
it's just when I think of it that way, I'm like, these some of these supplements are so cheap. Like if you're seeing $10, just stay away. Good sourcing, like trademark ingredients, those are your signs of like a premium product.
Okay. And stay away from those fillers. If you see the fillers, the
Yes.
dye, um,
Don't
uh,
get the dyes, don't get
color.
the artificial stuff.
Right.
Don't do the colors. I mean, I think we banned certain food coloring, but I still see it in some of especially in some of the gummies.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just
Yeah.
bought for my kids gummy worms. I think I don't know if I should say the brand, but
Yeah.
and I've never bought them before. But yeah, like they won't. I don't know.
Yeah. You'll see the
It's
FDs.
probably
Yeah.
just yeah, just candy. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like glorified candy. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, they're like orange and yellow, so probably not good, huh?
Not good. No. I mean, I feel like you can't stay away from those things because they're just like once in a while. It's not something that you take every day. But if it's in your vitamin, in your supplement that you're taking every day, just be a little cautious about those things.
Okay. And what about for our kids too? Is there a brand that you recommend
So
for
I'm trying to create something for my kids too. I know it's so hard. Like it's so
getting them
hard
to
to
take
make.
it? Because
It
it
has to
has
be a
to
gummy
be
because my kid will not take anything else.
right. I know. Or it has to be something that tastes it has to taste good because otherwise they're not going to take it. And then like, what's even the point? You can't
Right,
feel it,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
but there is one that I actually do give to my kids if you want, like, and I'm not getting paid for anything for this, but it's Mary Ruth's
oh yeah,
multivitamins.
Mary Ruth's
Yeah,
are
for kids.
organic. Yes.
Yes, yes. So I checked the ingredients and I
Made
looked
through
at
third party testing. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yep.
So I actually used to work. with that brand too, but this is before,
Sure.
yeah, this is like after I have already interacted with that brand and I know the brand. But putting that bias aside, like just purely looking at their supplement labels and looking at like the gummy format and how it doesn't have sugar in there, I am giving that to my kids.
Okay, and they will take them and they like them?
Yes, yes, they love
Okay.
gummies. They think it's a candy.
They're candy that they get to
Yeah,
have in the morning. Oh.
exactly, exactly.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah.
So, as someone with deep insight into how supplements are made, what do you think are the most essential supplements for women, and which ones are maybe overhyped or unnecessary?
Oh, I think this one, it really depends, because I'm not aware of your health goals and I'm not aware of your like medical history. Because I think every women like there's something that you might need that I don't need. But I if I could just say there are core supplements that I think everyone should be taking, and I'm actually taking these too. It's a good multivitamins, especially for women. You want to like find one with like good calcium and good iron because as we get older, our body kind of age and like we're depleting our bodies of those nutrients. Another one is vitamin D. So
Mhm.
a lot of people have vitamin D deficiency and they actually don't know it. So always supplement with a good vitamin D. And there's a good form and there's a bad form. So I know it's like it even gets even more complicated, but make sure you get a good vitamin D. D3 is the form that you need to look for, not
Okay,
D2, D3.
D3.
So
Okay.
yeah, D3. So look for that on the label. It's very easy. And then the other one I actually really I take every day is omega. So omega-3. Yeah, and there's even a science to go further into that one because it's fractionated into like EPA, DHA. And sometimes I know without getting so like into the science, there are good like ratio that you should take for certain things that you want to accomplish. Like for example, if you want like pregnancy, you want more DHA, right? So and then
Mhm.
for heart health, you want more EPA. So things like that. So
Okay.
it but omega, a good generic omega-3 is gonna be like what I would recommend. And then now I'm actually starting to take collagen because I'm seeing the effect. So yes, if you're concerned about skin and aging, get on collagen.
Okay.
If you're an athlete, if you're working out a lot, if you know, I actually used to do magnesium bisglycinate. So that one really helps your muscles and your soreness. So I used to do that.
Okay.
And then since we're moms and we get sick like all the time, and our kids get us sick all the time,
Yes.
I actually have zinc or like quercetin if you have like a combination of that. So when vitamin C, if you're, you know, like I just put that on like on hold in case I start seeing people or all my kids getting sick. I'm like, okay, I gotta start not getting sick. So that's for
Right.
immunity. But yeah,
Okay.
oh my gosh. But I feel like there are a lot of supplements out there that gets the hype, but they may not give you the result that you want. Or they they try to tell you this is what you need, but really you don't. So
Right.
I would just, yeah, I just be more careful about like uh all these hype that you see and just really like I mean I'll give an example like creatine. I've been seeing creatine pop up like crazy.
Oh.
And creatine was something I used to do for working out. It's not something for anti-aging, which now I'm starting
Okay.
to see like a lot of people cite studies for anti-aging, and I think those studies are valid because it just recently came out. But it's something that I would never have thought I needed it like every day, unless I was actively working out, trying to like tone, trying to gain muscle. So, but again, like I would just do more research on it, and to see if that's something that you need or if you're okay already.
Right. And is that one you have to be careful for too? Like if you have any, like, because I'm just thinking people with like kidney conditions, like, am
Yes.
I right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like it's just
And
suddenly
so,
start gaining popularity, but you have to do some research on why.
yeah, yeah. So what I am
Yeah.
hearing is like the main ones are vitamin D and omega-3, a multivitamin,
Hmm.
and then zinc for immunity,
Yep.
and maybe collagen too
Yes.
for your
Yeah. Yeah.
skin, as
Yeah.
we
If
already.
I mean, if that's a concern for you, because I know not
Yeah,
everybody's focused on those stuff.
right.
And somebody that's like more focused on heart health, or that's an athlete, or that's more focused on, maybe just brain health, is going to have a different stack. Oh,
Okay.
and actually, yeah, I would avoid anything that has like a lot of ingredients, like more than 20, 30 ingredients, because I just kind of question like how all those
How are they
ingredients
fitting it
blend
all
together.
in one little
Yeah,
thing? Yeah, and then how
yeah,
they are reacting to one another too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because I would just avoid all that.
Okay.
Especially
All
in the
right.
shakes, because I
Limit.
know there's like some shakes that like throws tons of stuff in there. It's no added sugar. There's a difference between no added sugar and no sugar. And people usually think they're the same when they see like no added sugar. They're like, oh yeah, there's no sugar inside, but you're just adding extra sugar when
That's tricky
yes.
wording. That's, yeah,
Yes, I know. I used to say that.
sneaky. Yeah.
In my marketing world before, I would have to like sell through all these like languages, like no added sugar, or like low, anything less than like low calorie, or like low carbs, or like fit for a certain lifestyle, because technically it is, but people read it and they think what they want to think.
Right. So should we be cautious whenever we hear or see that language? Low carb, no added sugar, maybe like
Yeah.
natural flavors.
Well, natural flavors, it's actually a true statement, but you have to see if it's with any other artificial flavors. Because sometimes they'll just call out one part of the claim, like no, like no, no, sorry. They'll say like with natural flavors, and then you read the ingredients like there's natural flavors in there, so they're technically true. But if there's other things like artificial flavors in there and they're not calling it out, that's also true. So when you see
Oh,
natural flavor, it
okay.
doesn't
Just
necessarily
look
mean
at the,
100%.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's why I just read the ingredients list now. I don't even bother looking at the benefits claim sometimes, because it's just yeah.
skip over
Like
that because it's just a sales pitch, basically.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you are not just a founder, you're a mom of two kids, 5 and 2, which this is just unbelievable to me that you're making your own supplements and starting this company on your own. Like it's just, I'm just so amazed and inspired and impressed by you. And I'm just wondering, how do you juggle everything? How do you juggle the mental load of motherhood and
Oh
running a
my God.
business, and what are some of the biggest challenges or lessons you've learned along the way?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. But I struggle a lot. It takes so much to like shut off my brain and just stay present for my kids and my family. I do feel like a lot of my business and like my thoughts leak into my life, and then I'm just like hit with all that mom guilt. My to-do list is never ending, and sometimes I have to take a break and just come and like, jot it down so that I don't lose that train of thought. But I do feel pulled in all the directions like almost every day. But the biggest lesson that I've learned is that you don't have to do everything at once, and that's really okay. Like little steps, like whenever I feel like I'm falling behind, I just kind of have to remind myself taking little steps is still progress. That little 1%, half a percent of every day, it still adds up over the years. And the consistency is what really matters much more than the pace. And I like to think of it like when I'm driving on the freeway, right? There's people always going really fast. That's kind of your competitors. They're gonna get there first. They're gonna do this first. They're gonna be like they're super fast. And then there's people that are slow, enjoying the scene, taking their time, and it's okay because ultimately you're still gonna get where you
Get
want to
there.
go, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't have to feel that like panic, like oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough. I'm not like everyone's just zooming by me and they're doing so much more. Like I don't have to feel that pressure. So I just like to think of it that way, and then it helps me. And then also like valuing, honoring that time that I have with my family, like or that time that for myself. So getting that coffee, getting reading time with my kids is one of my favorite things. So
Mhm.
just really just sitting there and just being with them and enjoying that, and knowing that they're going to remember that much more than I'm going to remember like oh my god, I have a million things to do. But
Right.
yeah, building this brand has been, it also has a deeper meaning for me, because it's something that I wanted to make for women like me. And I wanted to be able to show up and carry, like all these stuff with me, but still show up for them. And I honestly would rather work on this business of mine, this dream of mine 24/7 than work for someone else, this dream like 40 hours a week.
Right. Yeah. And ultimately, like you really do get to make your own schedule. You're working for yourself. So
Exactly.
you could just decide to stop when you need to take a break if you need to. And I like the advice that you give, like you don't have to do everything all at once, because I think that we're all
Yeah.
just rushing around and yeah,
Yeah.
just in this state of like urgency, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Just give yourself permission to slow down and um, give yourself grace
Yeah.
and also see that you're making like little improvements over time and it will all add up.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. So I love the name Fussy Mom. I think I'm a fussy mom. So
I'm
can you
glad.
share what inspired it and how you want women to feel when they use your products?
Oh my gosh, I love branding questions. By the way, it's I used to do this a lot. So little, insider knowledge. Like when I first started this project, it was called something else. It was actually called Better Than, because like it's better than nothing. And it got kind of came out because when I was asking my OBGYN, like which prenatal should I take with my, variant with my genetic,
Yeah,
she was like, oh, take any prenatals. It's better than nothing. And I don't know why it stuck with me for so long, because it was just
yeah,
like a powerful statement. Like whether it showed like either she didn't care or she didn't know. And it just like, it made me kind of angry because, I wanted it to be better than something, it better to be than
right.
anything for my customers. So for the longest time, I was working with this name like Better Than. But then I actually had when my second son was born and I was like thinking about this project in my head, I was really sleep deprived. And he was like really fussy baby. And so in the moment of trying to calm him, I kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I became the fussy mom instead of the baby. And then I just kind of texted my friend like, "Hey, I'm gonna have a new name. Like, it's gonna be called like Fussy Mom instead." And I think the name and the branding just kind of like resonated with me better because it's
Yeah.
it's it's just my personality, like quirky, unfiltered, not perfect, right? Like, I wanted every woman to see the product and see the names and be like, okay, yeah, you can still be a mom, you can still be nurturing, but you can still be bold and you can still be brash and aggressive, a little aggressive, and be loud, and that's okay. Just you don't have to shrink because you're a mom.
Yes, like we have emotions, big ones,
Yes.
and sometimes we're fussy. Like
Yeah.
we're not, nobody's perfect. Like we all have that shadow side and we experience the whole breadth of human emotion and it's okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay. And I
Yeah.
love like just being playful because you don't have to hide
Oh,
behind
it's
being like perfect.
playful. That's how
Yes.
I feel about it. It's playful. That's what I think. Yeah, when I
Yeah.
hear fussy mom.
Yeah.
So mental health is such an important part of the wellness conversation. Can you tell us more about your anxiety mood support supplement and why you felt called to create it?
Yes. And so mental health for me was always like a taboo topic because, especially as an Asian mom, like we don't address our feelings, we don't address our, like our like our mental health. Like it's not a thing. Like it doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. And it wasn't something that we talk about openly. And for the longest time, I actually didn't really have an outlet or anything to kind of like talk to anyone about how I was feeling, especially when I was, getting pregnant or like struggling with pregnancy, struggling with miscarriages, even dealing with like having two kids. And then when I was pregnant with my second son, I actually joined, a friend invited me to this Facebook group of all Asian moms. So it was really interesting. It's all Asian moms, and we were all talking about like, it's just a space where we were being honest. We talk about our anxiety or emotional trauma, our mother-in-law, like the old ways of doing things, like the Asian ways, and then like, oh, here's the new wave of like, okay, we don't want to be, like our moms or our parents. And it was just really raw and really refreshing. And then when I was going through all the posts, it's like it kind of struck me how common some of these symptoms are, like moms with teenagers, newborns, toddlers, they kind of like all talked about being overwhelmed, juggling like life and work balance, right? Like juggling like their sense of
Having to do it
duties.
all, the pressure to
Yes,
do it all.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that traditional sense of like, I have to be a mom in this traditional way.
Mm.
And, like, I don't want to do that, right? Like, I still want to be myself. And
Yeah.
it was just all these like emotional, like, just a lot of emotional, like, health that they were just throwing it out there in the open. And it was just, it was, I just that felt like I had to make something like that to help these people, to help me. And it's a formula that's really just designed to help take a little bit of that mental load that we carry every day. Just take a little bit of that off. And it's actually funny because I named it Calm Your Sass because my son was being
Calm your sass.
yeah, he was being extremely sassy that one time, and he was really loud. He's still loud, and I love that about him. But I was trying to put my second down for a nap, and he was just really like really loud. And I wanted to tell him like, hey, calm your body, like
Yeah.
breathe. But the word I really wanted to say was the other word, but
Right.
so, but I like that's kind of how it came out. I'm like, okay, this is like the perfect name for this product.
I love it. So would you recommend taking this at night? Like, does it make you sleepy?
No, so it doesn't make you sleepy, but it kind of puts that like it helps with your serotonin level so that it makes you happier. So it lightens up your mood so you can actually rest. Because a lot of times I feel like we can't shut off our brain and we can't like our brain tells our body like we gotta get up, we gotta do this. Like there's a million things we need to do before we actually like sit down and like really rest. Um, and so that the 5-HTP is gonna help with that. The chamomile and like all the botanicals gonna help you like just feel a little bit lighter and calmer so that you can take a rest. So I do think this is good for like if you're struggling with sleeping, like shutting off your brain so you can sleep. That will
Yeah.
help, but also
Okay.
like if you're in meetings and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's like really crazy day and you just need a little bit time, like just to not snap at people, not to feel
Yeah.
like you're like this full.
Or not to snap
Um,
at your kids after
yeah, yeah. So
they've
that
had
that
like
will
the
help
sixth
too.
temper tantrum of the day. Like,
I know. Especially when you're going. So I live near Disneyland and I see this a lot. I used to have an annual pass, and this like one of my thing was like, oh my, I should bring this product to like Disneyland and show it to people because a lot of moms have meltdowns. Like you think
uh,
kids have meltdowns, like moms are like screaming, yelling, like telling everybody like
no,
we here, we gotta do this.
it's
Oh my
I
gosh.
know. It's so overstimulated. We did Disney, was it not last fall, but the fall before for the first time, took all the kids. And I needed a vacation after that. It's
Yes, like it's so stressful.
yeah. Oh my
And
gosh,
I'm
that's
just
so
there
you
because
should stand there and hand out calm your sats.
exactly, because I'm like, it's not the kid, it's you. You might just want to chill out a little
Just
bit. And that's how,
yeah, take
yeah.
a deep breath. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well, this has been awesome. Where can people find you and where can they purchase Fussy Mom supplements?
Well, come say hi to me on Instagram or on TikTok. We're at Fussy Mom Co. And then our website is fussymom.co.
FussyMom.co.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Cassie, thank you so much for coming on today. I so appreciate you. I loved learning more about your Fussy Mom products, and I